Protests across the country and here in Connecticut have punctuated the days since Donald Trump's stunning election upset. Protesters highlighting fears about deportations and a reluctance to address climate change, among other concerns. Meanwhile, on 60 Minutes, President-elect Trump pointed to a double standard at play.
If Hillary had won, and if my people went out and protested, everybody would say, oh, that's a terrible thing. And it would have been a much different attitude. There is a different attitude.
Joining me now to react to all this post-election drama, former Republican State Senator Tom Scott in our New Haven bureau. Thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Well, first, Mr. Scott, from adults and college students to high schoolers, the protests really have been nonstop. So what is your reaction to that?
Well, you know, this transition period that we have between Election Day and Inauguration Day is uniquely American. And in my lifetime, I've never seen anything quite like this, where so many people refuse to accept the result of the election. Now, some of these people are quite sincere and really don't know how to react, so they go out to these various protests. But some of these folks are misfits, some of them are anarchists, some of them are professional protesters. My biggest concern in terms of the future of America are all of these spoiled college students at places like Yale and Wesleyan who are searching for safe spaces as we speak. When is Yale going to start producing more people like Nathan Hale? God forbid our country has a major crisis and we have to storm a beach someday. I wonder if we're up to it, if these kids are any indication.
Well, what would you say is the sort of political science lesson here? What can voters who are rejecting Donald Trump do in terms of moving forward, learn from this?
Well, listen, they can organize. Look, I had to suffer through 8 years of the Obama presidency. I wasn't happy about it. I didn't call my congressman and complain about anything because our 5 congressmen and 2 U.S. senators, from my point of view, are useless. But what they can do is they can start organizing for the midterm elections. There are a lot of Bernie Sanders people out there who are not happy with the Democratic congressman here in Connecticut. Start organizing, get involved. But these protesters, some of them, I don't want to be overly broad here, but many of them are creating a climate whereby people on the outside looking in look at this as like a banana republic kind of reaction, and that's not the America that I love.
You know, the Northeast described as a blue bubble, but here in Connecticut, Trump really didn't do so bad. He nabbed about 41% of the vote. Were you surprised by those numbers?
You know, we in Connecticut have the unwanted distinction of being the highest tax state in the nation. We have a governor in Dan Malloy who started off as being just a public nuisance, but now has been downright dangerous for our economy. And we're last in many things we should strive to be first in. We're first in many things we should strive to be last in. So I think to the extent people want change, it is probably more pronounced here in Connecticut than just about anywhere else in the country.
All right, Tom Scott, thank you so much for your time and insight tonight. We certainly appreciate it. All right, Brent.